Hey, this is a kind of different sort of video. It's another 1cc, as you're probably used to at this point, but there's some commentary. I'm doing some commentary, not necessarily entirely on the game, to be honest, but more of like what's around the game, and how I felt doing this 1cc. So a bit of like personal background. I've been a NEET for like, probably 2 years at this point. This is 2025. 3 years. Fuck. I stopped working in like January 2022. And I've looked for jobs, but for a while I wasn't really motivated. I didn't really want to work again. But recently I've really tried to get back into the workforce, and it was difficult. But I did it, and I started working again like a month or so ago, and I was kind of concerned when I started working, because I'm working full-time now, and I've never actually worked full-time before. Now that I'm working full-time, I have a lot less free time to myself, and I kind of worried that I'd stop having fun in life while not having free time. And to be honest, life is quite a bit less fun, but I think being able to 1cc, doing a new 1cc was very nice. It helped me, I don't know, just have something to be like, hey, I still got my shit together. Even if I'm, gonna be a normal working person, I can still be a cool Touhou player. I don't have as much time to practice, of course, but I have those underlying skills, and I want to still apply them because I enjoy playing Touhou, and honestly, it's a very good game to play if you don't have a bunch of time. It is very committal. You got to commit yourself to practicing and stuff, but if you're good enough, it's nice to, put in a 30-minute session every once in a while, just a nice little play session. It's a lot, I don't know. I'd rather play Touhou than like an open world game. I feel like if I had half an hour to play like Zelda, I'd spend most of it just holding forward and regretting my time. But so yeah, I started working at Kroger, and I've actually worked at this Kroger before, funnily enough, when I was a teenager. But that actually, I thought that would make it harder to get a job, but it made it easier, surprisingly. They seem to really like me there. And I'm working for the union, I'm working with the union, so, they're not treating me like I'm nothing. So I applied for part-time, actually, because I couldn't find a way to apply for full-time. Oh, I failed that one. Failed that one a lot. It's easier with Reimu, but I applied for part-time because I wanted full-time, because honestly I need to, I need to get out of the house. I'm, as of yesterday, I am 23 years old now. I need to be an adult. I need to fucking grow up. So I'd like to, I was like, I'd like to have a full-time, but could not get a full-time job. So I started working part-time at the deli at Kroger, and it fucked me up. Turns out, when you say that you have open availability and you're working part-time, what that means is, they will work you as much as, they can, and not give you any full-time benefits. So my first day I was supposed to go in, well, my first day I think was mostly supposed to just be like online training, but then they were like, no, come on, go on the sales floor, and it's fucking, what was it? Was it like 8 to 12 or something? It was like a 4-hour like training shift or something. It ended up being like, I closed, or maybe it was 12 to 4. And it ended up being like 12 to 8. So I worked a full shift, and I closed the deli. With help, of course. They trained me how to close it. And so all of a sudden, I go from not working at all to working full-time in a deli. And let me just say, working at the deli in a supermarket is not fun. It's really not fun. It didn't help that I didn't really like any of my coworkers, honestly. I don't know, everyone there was a lot older than me, and I'm very autistic, and it just, you know, wasn't great. It didn't really feel like I could just do my stuff. Honestly, it got a little better as time went on, as I was, you know, better and better at what I was doing. I guess they trusted me more. But it felt like in the beginning they didn't even with the little bit I knew, it feels like they didn't really trust that I knew anything. Oh, Touhou time. This spell card fucking sucks. This is genuinely, like, stupid, this spell card. It's weirdly hard, despite being second boss's spell card, but, I'm not gonna be talking about... If you want me to talk about Touhou, sorry. I'm not gonna talk too much about this specific everything that's going on the screen, but, yeah, working full-time was kind of crazy, and by the end of the first week, I couldn't fucking do it. The noise of the machines and, you know, my coworkers, like my manager yelling at me and everything, and the meat, cutting the meat was not fun. Deli meat is fucking disgusting, and also I'm vegan, so I don't like meat. And it kind of got to my head cutting the meat, thinking about like, oh, what this is. Like I see, like, I'll see like roast beef or something, and I'll be like, this is an animal, this is a dead animal, and I'm cutting it up, and I'm essentially, like, my job is like giving to the meat industry, and, you know, I'm like, you know, I need my money. I'm not saying that I was like a bad person for having this job. I'd rather have a job that doesn't involve that, but like, it wasn't nice to know, like, hey, what I'm doing, all the people that I'm serving are people that are giving to an industry that I do not support. Every single customer that I served had a very basic, like, moral thing that they disagreed with me on, pretty much. And I don't really know how to talk about this without sounding like... People don't like vegan talk, honestly. I don't know, like... I don't know, I care about animals, and I care about, you know, the way the world works. I care about all the animals and people and everything, you know, getting along, and preferably, I don't think there should be an entire industry based on torturing and killing animals for their meat. But, yeah, I mean, that's a lot. My thoughts on, you know, animal, you know, like the animal meat, the meat industry and animal products and stuff, that could be its own talk, honestly, but, I was working a lot, it was tiring work. I don't have a car, so I had to walk to and from work. It was tiring, it was mind-numbing, and it was awful. And honestly, like, the pay wasn't even worth it. My paychecks were smaller than they should have been because it was like I started working on a payday, so my first paycheck was like half a paycheck, and it didn't make me feel any better, especially considering the paycheck was late anyway. On my first off day, my first off day was a Wednesday, and I was thinking about going to my sangha, but I regrettably did not. I was like, oh, I want to have, like, time to, like, just relax, and, you know, I know my body was tired and whatever, but I wish I did it. I don't get enough meditation in now that I'm working. But on my second off day, like, right before the beginning of my next week, I lost it. I don't remember what it was that made me lose it, but I just fucking lost it, and I snapped, and I kind of just was like, okay, I need to just do something to, like, this is consuming me. My life has become something horrible. I don't like people as much as I used to. I realized that generally people do not care as much about morals as they should, and ethics, and there's, you know, the entire fucking country is built on the foundation of, like, consumerism and stuff, and it's, I don't know what I was thinking, but it was awful, you know, like, it was all true, you know, like, consumerism sucks, and the meat industry sucks and all of it, but it got to my mind so much, and I was like, I can't deal with this forever, like, I can't keep working like this. This is, just 1 week fucked me up so bad. It was late at night, and I put on, The Wall by Pink Floyd, and I ran around for an entire, like, hour and a half, or however long, I think it's an hour and a half, hour 40. I listened to the whole album, and I went through the whole movements and everything. I even listened to What Shall We Do Now, because that's, like, my favorite song from The Wall, but it's not on the LP. I listened to What Shall We Do. I went into the park. I went to the park, even though I wasn't supposed to go there because it was dark, but it was cool just running around and listening to it. I was freaking out, and it was scary. It was this dark forest and running around listening to Pink Floyd. But by the end of the album, I was, like, feeling a lot better. Honestly, that album, it gets me to feel a lot of feelings, and usually by the end, I'm like, I've gone through all the stages of grief, and it gives me a lot of clarity. But after I was done listening to the album, I was like, alright, I don't know what I'm gonna do, reduce my hours, or switch departments or something, but I need to talk to my boss, I need to talk to my manager. And so, the decision I came to was, my job is horrible. It doesn't matter how much I'm working. Like, it doesn't matter how many hours I have. I don't want to do this job. And so I talked to, you know, the assistant manager, and I was like, hey, the deli's not really working out for me. And they were like, yeah, that's cool. My assistant manager is actually, like, pretty cool. It's interesting. Both the managers, like, big, you know, big bosses at my store are pretty chill people, which is not something I'm used to working. Yeah, he was saying, like, yeah, if it's not working for you, you know, you've worked in pickup before, so, you know, you can do that, or, he was like, hey, you should try doing tagging. And, I tried it, and I was like, this is really cool. I can just walk around the store, headphones in, occasionally talking to customers, but mostly kind of just keeping to myself, listening to music or YouTube or whatever, and just kind of doing this pretty simple task. It was nice. I liked it. And so I was like, hey, yeah, I'd like to do this. And they were like, you know, we have a position for lead, which means a promotion pretty much. Getting paid, going from $15.50 to, they told me it was $16.90, but my union says it should be $17.10, and I gotta check my my paycheck and make sure everything's okay. But if I yell at them, you know, I can get my extra 20 cents. Yeah, getting paid more, and yeah, it's a nice job. Still don't have a lot of time, but anyway, something I neglected to talk about was Touhou, the thing you see on the screen with Rainbow. After my initial, like, onboarding process, when I went home I played Touhou 11, and I was so exhausted I could barely focus on it, but I did actually almost get, I think I died on the last spell card, which is crazy, because it was a different shot type than I'm used to, and I still want to try clearing with that shot type, but every attempt has been so much worse than that first one. I kept trying to do it. While I was working at the deli, whenever I would have, like, free time, I played Touhou 11. I tried to clear it with the homing, the Suika, Reimu and Suika, because I've done Reimu and Yukari before, and that feels like it's, like, the only, like, sane shot type in that game, honestly. And I just couldn't do it, and it made me mad. Like, the way that I play Touhou, I'm very chill when I play Touhou generally. Usually when I'm dying, I'm like, ah, damn it. Or I bomb, and I'm really good at knowing when to bomb. When I played 11, I was getting cocky, and every time I die, I'd just be like, honestly, I'd kind of yell a little bit, not like loud or anything, just like kind of impulsively be like, ah, you know, like, usually when I die, I'm like, oh, I don't know, fucking, I don't know, I make all kinds of noises when I die. I'm like, oh, oops, damn it, oh man, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is usually when I die in Touhou, I'm fine with it, but I started getting angry, and the thing was that whenever I would be not working, all I'd be thinking about is work. And I just feel rushed all the time, and I never felt like I could just relax. I think to enjoy Touhou, you really need to get into it. You need to get into the zone. You need to, you know, get into that kind of, like, meditative state almost. Or else you kind of fuck it up. But, yeah, I was starting to get angry at the game, and it made me really upset, because Touhou is something I really enjoy, and getting angry at it is not fun. It's not fun. It's also just not fun to get angry at games. I don't want to be that fucking guy that, you know, you're watching them play games, and shit gets a little too real. They die a few times, and they're like, oh, this fucking game, I hate this fucking game. Why does this game have to be like this? Why does everything have to be against me? Why can I just not win anything? Like, I hate having to, like, hang out with someone and then, like, rage at a game, and it gets too real, and you know, like, hey, buddy, like, is there something going on in your personal life? Like, it's just a game, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like getting mad at games. Not a big fan of that. And so, the whole week, the thing about working at the deli is, it's not entirely my manager's fault that I was overworked so much. I was, because it was a new job and I wanted to get as much as I could, I took every opportunity I could. On my very first day, it was supposed to be 4 hours, but they were like, hey, can you close the store? And I was like, yeah, sure I can. And they're like, hey, can you have these hours? And I'm like, yeah, sure I can. I kept saying, yes, I can do that, because I was like, the thing is, I'm not really used to getting pushed like this, and so I was like, yeah, I can deal with anything that comes to me. I cannot. I didn't know when to rest. I didn't know when I should rest, and I wanted to just milk everything out of myself, honestly. And that's how I played Touhou as well. I didn't really try super hard to practice. I kind of just threw my head at the wall over and over and over again, and Touhou 11 is a fucking awful game to do that with, honestly. I'm not raging anymore, but I need to play more 11, need to practice more. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. A lot of it's a little bit infuriating in a way that doesn't have as much of a flow state. It's hard to get into a flow state, I feel. I don't know. I liked it before. I don't know what changed. Maybe it's that I'm not constantly practicing it. It feels like losing practice. Like, it feels like it's harder to go back to than the other ones, I guess. Like, it feels like you need to constantly stay in practice to really, like, clear it. I probably should have recorded on Audacity. Okay, I made a backup in Audacity because, I'm paranoid. But, what was I saying? I kind of just kept throwing my head against the wall. And, I just, you know, I think I was trying to do something that was out of my skill set. I think not having a lot of time in your day and trying to 1cc Touhou 11 is not a very good combination. So pretty much around the same time I decided, like, hey, I gotta change departments. I also realized, like, hey, I should maybe, you know, change up what I'm doing with Touhou. Kind of go a little, you know, because life is more stressful now, I'm not as good at dealing with the things as I used to be dealing with. So let's go a little easier so I can get back up to something more difficult. And so what I decided to do was, because it was actually, you know what, I gave up on Touhou 11, I think, and I tried doing Marissa, hard mode Marissa in Touhou 8. I tried doing hard mode Marissa, and that also is the same thing. I kept raging and being upset, and I was not having fun. That was the thing that got to me. I was like, this is the most fun game in the world to me. This game's so important to me, and I'm not having fun. So what I decided to do was, like, hey, let's change my hours. let's change my department. Like, let's go a little easier, with a different department with a few less hours, and let's change difficulties and let's change shop types. And so I decided to do Touhou 8 with Sakuya and Remulia on normal mode, and I did it really easily. I mean, I can beat most Touhou games, not Touhou 11, but pretty much any other Touhou game. I can beat normal mode like good. Like, I could just do it. Like, I mean, you've seen me play Touhou 6. I can play normal mode and once you see it while still, you know, talking my head off. But you know, I decided to do that. I once you see it really easily, and then I was like, hey, I really like playing Asaki and Remulia. Actually, I really like their like gimmick. I like the gimmick of like Remelia's, like, it's pretty much like a turret. If you can see, like, she plants that option that shoots 4, and it stays in the same location until you like refocus. And I really like that. It combats a lot of the stressful enemy patterns in Touhou 8. And so I decided to do that. I decided to do something easier, and it still took a while to work for hard mode. I had 1cc'd, I think I posted it, I had 1cc'd with Reimu before on hard mode, but not any other characters. And so, as I tried for, by the way, I just want to say, this 1cc's fucking insane. Have you noticed how I haven't died yet? Is this Illusion Seeker? Yes. This should be my first death in the entire 1cc. Right here. Somewhere here. Look it out, look out, look out. Look out. Yep, there we go. That's the first death in the whole 1cc. Where it wasn't like that. I often have that where I struggle a lot with a 1cc, and then I have this one run where I finally get it, and I don't stress out anymore because I get good routing. The thing is that my routing kept fucking up. I didn't have confidence in myself. I kept bombing everything, and I would just use up all my resources and die, and honestly, Tay is the part of the issue. The thing I needed to realize with Sakuya and Remulia is I forgot about the whole hitbox thing, and how everyone has a bigger hitbox than Reimu. And that was a little annoying. I kind of hated getting around that, honestly. I really like Reimu's hitbox in this game. And learning a new one is kind of annoying, especially since it's like so slight. It kind of just felt like if I tried like grazing, it just wouldn't work sometimes, and that was frustrating. But yeah, I worked at it. As I was working more with Sakuya and Remulia in hard mode, I was getting better about managing work. Something I still struggle with is food, because I don't like just fucking, making instant noodles or whatever for lunch. So I tend to make my food like the night before for work, and I make nice meals and keep leftovers for work. And I had been learning how to get more accustomed to just working and managing my time and being able to just relax, spend some time relaxing. Fuck these guys, by the way. I think this is like the first time I've ever not died to these fuckers or bombed. Because I can't bomb them with Sakuya and Remulia, I believe. I don't think it like does anything. What was I saying? I figured out that I could skate to work, which I might not do for a little bit, because last time I skated, I kind of realized how bad it is to skate with groceries, and I kind of fucked up my hand. I didn't crash, but I tried to stop myself, and it was a bad idea. Yeah, I started skating to work, and I realized, like, also my hours are really bad for skating, because it's like normal working people hours. It's 8 to 5. I get off at rush hour, and fucking rollerblading down a strode on rush hour is terrifying. Yeah, I realized I could skate, and at first it was like, oh, I can get there in like 20 minutes, and then I was like, wait, I can skate there in like 15 minutes. I can just go. And that was so great, because I used to give myself like an hour of leeway. Like if I was working at 10, say, I would leave at 9, because work is like 40 minutes away walking. But I just like to be, more lenient. But that would take away so much time from myself, and so I eventually tried to really just like try to actually care about like, hey, it actually takes this long. Let's give myself like 5 or 10 minutes of leeway. I don't need to fucking have a whole like, 20, 30 minutes extra, because that's taking away from my free time. But one of the best things ever was I think was this when I was transferring? I think this was when I was transferring. It was like right as I was transferring to file management. This is what they call it, tagging, file management. It was right as things were really being solved. I had a really nice day where, I had plenty of time. It was kind of a later shift. I think it was like 12 or something. So, what I did was, I was like, okay, I'm gonna skate, but before I skate, I'm gonna try Touhou. And, I had a bad run. But I actually had enough time for another run. And that's what this run was. I actually did this run, like, right before work. And it was crazy. It made me feel so fucking good, because I had been trying this for, like, pretty much, like, a month. Like, has it been? March 13th. It's been, like... Yeah, it's been a month. I don't know. It's 2 weeks or so. 2 weeks. I don't know. Time is a little different now, but, yeah, I've been trying at this for so long, and I finally got it, and, right before I went to work, I think I listened to the Black Parade on the way to work, skating. I got to play Touhou and then skate, and that was, like, so happy. That made me so happy, because it's, like, Touhou is my favorite game, and I also love rollerblading, and it was nice being able to, like, really do the things I enjoy. And then I went to work, and I felt energized. I feel very energized when I skate to work. I felt energized, and I was like, hey, work sucks, but, like, I had a really good morning, and it made work feel so much better. I'm trying to really keep the fun things in my life, and not just being a machine. I've been rewatching Dragon Ball Z during my lunch break, and now that I'm working at File Mannings, I can listen to all kinds of fun things. I listen to music I like, occasionally listen to some long form content, although that's not as it's not easy enough to come across really good long videos. It feels like when I need a video to be long, when I'm looking for videos and I need it to be long, I can't find any long ones. But if I just want to eat and watch a video, videos are always like way too long. Yeah, now I'm working in file maintenance, and it is full time. I've been working 45 hours a week lately. I think next week I'm working 40 hours, which is nice, because once again, things are fucked up, and the job at least is good, but the hours are kind of fucking crazy. So I also work overnight shifts on Tuesday night / Wednesday morning, which is actually kind of nice. I kind of like it. It's nice being able to. It's nice being in an empty store, and I pretty much have a whole free day on Tuesday. I pretty much have Tuesdays off, and then at 10, I have a little nap, and then at 10 I go to work. When I leave, the sun's coming up, and I sleep again. And then then I have Wednesday off. So I pretty much have a little like comfy shift in the middle of my off days, and it kind of makes it almost as if I have 3 off days. And some things are quieter. I can listen to more stuff. Sometimes I listen with both earbuds when I'm working overnight shifts. But something I've discovered is a big part of editing videos is just watching them over. And I realized that I can just listen to my own videos at work, and that's how I can get through, like, editing them. So what I've been doing lately is I'll put on a video, and I'll listen to it at work, and occasionally, like, when something comes up, like, if I, like, you know, make a mistake or whatever, there's dead air, or just, like, I say something stupid, I'll write it down. I'll write down the time code in my notes, and, whenever I have the chance, I get to editing the video, and pretty much now when I edit my videos, I skip the annoying step of just having to watch the whole thing over. So I just look at all the moments that need editing, and I do it. And it's nice. It's a very quick way of editing videos, and it means that I can do what I enjoy, which is making videos, but not have it take up too much time for me. That was part of the reason I stopped making videos for a while, is because the return of, like, what they were, I preferred doing different types of art. And I felt like videos were too much time investment for the kinds of, you know, the kind of enjoyment it is. Or, like, the, you know, the kind of art it is. Yeah. You can see me fucking up all of these final spells, all these last words. But it's okay. You don't need to do any of them. One day I should do them, because they're really cool, and it feels so shitty to, like, 1cc and then just die a bunch of times to the last words. Kind of reminds me of my Batsugun, like, what is it, 6-bomb trick for the final boss? Or just bomb the shit out of him. I don't even think I can do that on a... I don't know how my Batsugun... I need to do Batsugun 1cc, by the way. I don't know how that's gonna work out. The resources might get kind of tight for that, considering the final level. But yeah, that was my Touhou 8 1cc. I hope you enjoyed me rambling about nothing. I hope this made sense.